La la la. Alrighty. Rock and roll pickups. Alright. So, what we've got here today is a Tremolo Stabilizer. In this case, it's one that Kramer put on some guitars. It may have been the Beretta too. May have been other ones, I'm not sure. History exactly. Because there isn't a whole lot of information, at least none that I've found. Just a couple of pictures. And that's about it. And so there it is. It's got a springs, and then it's got this piece with springs that push the opposite direction. And so the nice thing is you can set your tremolo up to float, get it perfectly where you want it so that it's level side to side and front to back. And then you scoot this back until it just touches this, lock it down, and then you can raise your spring tension. This keeps this in the same place so it can't come this way. So you can add positive tension here, just like you can on a tremolo that sits on the body to keep it from going down. This keeps it from coming forward. So that means you can do whatever you want on dives. It'll always return to this spot. And then if you want to pull back on the tremolo, it'll compress these springs. And another benefit of this, as opposed to a full floating tremolo, is that since you can raise this tension here, you can do something you can't really do on a floater. That means when you've got a floater that's unstabilized, I'll just grab one. This one has no stabilizer. So what happens is because the position of your tremolo plate is entirely dependent on having an equal amount of tension here compared to your springs. If you change the tension in one place, it changes the tension in the other place. So what we do is we go. So like, if I bend a note here, other strings are going to go flat. I don't know. I need to find it good. It's kind of sickening. And if you use a D-tuna to drop your D, or if you drop your D, it's going to change the tensions of this. You can keep the guitar kind of, if you have it set up good enough, you can have it stay in tune with itself, but it's going to be out of tune compared to other instruments, or if you're playing along with something, it'll be out of tune with that. Which, that's the one thing I don't love about floating tremolos, is that thing where you pull here and it pulling down on it, play this string, bend this string, everything goes flat. But now let's check this on the let's check that same effect on this guitar. So play this note. So I can play these notes. If I go real far, then it'll do it. I could raise the spring tension more, but it's unlikely that I'll be bending that much while playing open strings. And let me try that again. So what's the problem? Problem is, this thing does not really fit in this hole. At least not yet. Get out of my way. Everything is really tight. This is actually peeking up out of the hole a little bit because the angle that this comes back at, it changes as it moves forward, so it ends up pushing weirdly on here, and this piece here, this plate that moves, ends up tipping at an angle and grinding along these shafts. See if I can reach the... I'll be able to hear it going. You can feel it through the tremolo arm. Kind of seems like this needs to have wheels so that it can turn as this comes forward. But I'm going to try just to see if a little bit of lubrication will make that smoother. Currently got it tipped so that it'll kind of go along with this as it tips. But because if you don't, then it almost immediately binds. Let's see, how far does this go before it starts? Okay, there's where it first makes contact. Guess by the time you get there, you're hitting the bracket. Well, no, it's going over the bracket, just hitting the tape. Kind of drives it into the bracket though. So, okay. Of course, since I've got it set up right now, I don't really want to take these off, so I'm just going to kind of squish it in and hope for the best. Oopsie, that was a lot. Alright, now that I made a mess, probably should have taken it off to do this, but What's the fun of that? I don't think it's making any difference. I didn't really want to adjust this thing, but so, oh, where's my lid? Oh, here it is. How far is that on? A measuring device would be nice. Do not see mine. Yeah. Oh, there's a screwdriver I couldn't find yesterday. That's nice. I really don't want to take that off, so I better leave that alone. Because I've got shims under there, and they'll fall out. Just need a way to see how far these are screwed down so I can take those off and then put them back. That is so freaking useless. Bunch of freaking lines. Let's try this one. Okay. That appears to be about 7 of those. Just about 6. Whatever increment that is. Okay. So. 1/2, 1.5, 2. 1/2, 3. 1/2, 4. 1/2, 5. Okay, so that'll do perfectly anyway. One question is whether this one is just damaged. Jesus, fucking jumped in my face. What would be nice is if these had, a tube built in so that it wouldn't tip as it moved. I can definitely feel some gravity in there.
Yai 755 said, Mr. How are you this fine evening?
Hey, doing alright. Trying out some lube. And how are you?
Yai 755 said, doing good, just did some Mondo practice.
I can't remember exactly what the Mondo was.
Yai 755 said, mandolin.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Okay. I got you now. Got grease out here. It's kind of hard to hold on to now.
Yai 755 said, robots don't like shortened words.
Oh, really? Oh, on the text-to-speech? She reading it funny?
Yai 755 said, Mondo to mandolin LUL.
Mondo to mandolin. Alright, let's try to put this thing back in and see what happens, I guess. Oh, I did the shibs here. Oops. Been a while, so I did not remember. Doing a quick kind of thing to see if this lubrication will help, and then I'm hoping to install a new pickup tonight. Try out a Frankenstein pickup. I've been wanting to try out for many years, but can never afford one. Oh, that's kind of a... Gosh darn it. They only used one thinking screw on here. When you tighten it down, it turns it. Maybe if I put a washer, that might work. I need to wipe the grease off my hands. I'll be right back.
Yai 755 said, "Nice. My dad built one of those finish-it-yourself guitars, so we've been looking into some pickups for it.
See what you said. I missed. Says, Dad built one of those finish-it-yourself guitars, so we've been looking in pickups for it. Oh, one of the do-it-yourself guitar kit thingies. Oof. Smell that grease. I hate the smell of grease.
Yai 755 said, "Yeah, the Stomax specials."
Oh, from Stumac? The ones I usually hear about are the cheap Chinese ones, which all those have some problems, especially with tremolos with studs that don't actually work correctly. But I'm assuming that a Stumac one will actually be designed to work. What kind of pickups are you thinking about?
Yai 755 said, "It's not bad, it's just a basic Strat body."
Is set up for single coils or humbuckers or a mix? I think I need my measuring tool. There it is. Clank, clank.
Yai 755 said, "Mix, it has a couple pick guards to change out for pickups."
Oh, I see.
Yai 755 said, "I think humbuckers would be cool."
Obviously, I like humbuckers. Ta-da! I have a couple of picks that are specific heights. There we go.
Yai 755 said, "My dad's a fan of single coils though."
This is not set right. I'm gonna give it a quick once over, which I was not planning on doing right now. Yeah, I'd like to have at least one guitar that has a single coil in the middle. That way I can blend it in with the other pickups and kind of get a Hendrixy sound. But mine is currently, that one's been down for maintenance for about 10 years or more. What do you want, Bundy? I gotta see what the dog is squealing about. Mummy's that way. Bundy, hey, look at Mummy. Mummy's not in here. Mummy's not here. You want to come down? Huh? Mummy's in the bedroom. You want to go to the bedroom? You want to find Mummy? You're right there? Okay. Yeah.
Yai 755 said, I'm throwing the ball for my dog right now, lol.
This dog here we've had for almost 15 years. He's a very old puppy now, and his back half doesn't work too well. He just went barreling down a couple of steps to try to get down here. Telling him my wife is at the other end of the house. So, and I'm pretty sure he was trying to find her. But at least he didn't have a crash. But he can't really do stairs without help right now, so I got a vest on him that's got a handle. So he's like carry-on luggage.
Yai 755 said, I've got 4, a blue heeler, Yorkie Chihuahua mix, and 2 young super mutts.
Well, you say super mutts? Nice.
Yai 755 said, oh yeah, they're a little bit of every large breed.
Oh, really? I think I prefer medium dogs. Big ones can kind of bowl you over.
Yai 755 said,
oh my gosh.
They're barely a year and they're as big as my brother's German Shepherd.
I think that could be a problem. Guess if you had a lot of open space, that'd be alright.
Yai 755 said, they don't have a brain cell between them though.
Oh no. Everything is opening up on the wrong screen. There we go. Don't have a brain cell between them.
Yai 755 said, very sweet dogs, just no thoughts.
Yeah, our other dog, he's intelligent in his way, but he can also be a real dingling. Oh, now where's this thing at? Looking for my little tuners so I don't have to rely on this twitchy one. Because I have to rely on the twitchy one.
Yai 755 said, "My healer's super smart and keeps teaching the pups to do things so she doesn't get in trouble for it." Yai 755 said, "Like opening my sliding door in the middle of winter."
Oh boy. That could be a problem. Who was it? Say one of your dogs does that? Guess I can look back. Your healer's super smart and keeps teaching the pups to do things. Naughty. Come on. Let's do the rest of the fun here. wires are bouncing all over the damn place. I was going to use my less picky tuner because it's not as twitchy, but it's vanished.
Yidi 755 said, I had to switch to all rechargeable tuners. Mandolins go out of tune so fast I was killing batteries.
Huh. Do you stretch your strings? Okay.
Yidi 755 said, well, when they're in pairs, if one changes a little you for sure hear it.
Well, it's just that on a stringed instrument, tuning stability always starts with the strings. If the strings are unstable, then nothing you do to the rest of the instrument can make it more stable. So, making sure your strings aren't twisted and stretching the strings can make all the difference on anything that's got strings. Unless you're talking about nylon strings. I don't know about them. I don't know if you can stretch out of them. I can ask one thing though. If you tune the mandolin...
Yidi 755 said, I don't mess with nylon.
I just have nylon strings on a ukulele. But on your mandolin, if you tune it and set it down for a while, and then pick it back up again and play it, is it in tune or is it going to be out of tune?
Yidi 755 said, it stays in tune pretty good. I've just been trying to practice a lot.
Well, the reason I ask is when you're installing a string that has, normal guitar pegs, like so.
Yidi 755 said, I get like 4 to 5 sessions without needing to tune.
Oh, that's pretty cool. But I'm trying to tell you something. What does it say that I'm telling everybody else? That as you wind a string, like pull it around a tuning peg, it can start to twist. And you can end up with torsion. It doesn't always twist, but if it's once it starts, it'll keep twisting more and more the more you wind it. And one of the symptoms of that is if you tune your guitar, you like playing it, tune it, and then set it down. When you come back, if a couple of the strings are all out of tune, then it's probably string twist, because what happens is as it sets, it'll the twisted strings will tighten up again. And so if you pick it up and you tune it, well, the string's already tightened, so then you play a little bit and that stretches the string out, and then it's flat, so it goes out of tune then. But one thing you can try is just, if you pick it up and it's out of tune, just give all the strings a good stretch, like do the middle ones and then the bottom ones, and then the top ones a few times, the opposite direction, and then it may just go right back in tune. If you got string twist, that temporarily stretches it out again, and then it'll just stay in tune until it rests, and it'll tighten up again. But yeah, but you skip that step of tuning it up and then having it stretch out again and then having to tune it back down. It especially shows up if you're like having to tune the strings down and then tune them back up to the same spot. That's almost always string twist. But I had to do a lot of careful studying with strings to figure out, so that I could pick up any of these guitars. But they'll be in tune. And a great deal of that is just properly stretching the strings. You have to also stretch them a bit above the nut, and if it's an instrument where the strings go past the bridge, stretch them a little down here too. Otherwise, it's kind of like having springs at each end. Even if you stretch the middle, then as you play it, it can screw up the tension. You can keep moving it until you get that part stretched too. It may not be applicable to your mandolin. I've never messed with one. And it wouldn't be as easy if you've got paired strings, because I use this to stretch my strings. Just go up and down so you get a nice, even stretch. Consistent stretch.
Yai755 said, "I'll have to try that next time. If it works, it'll save me a lot of tuning time. LUL."
Giving it a stretch, a quick stretch. Yeah, try it. Oh, give it a shot. Try a good stretch before you try tuning. So, yeah, some of these I had one or two strings twisted, and that's the only ones I'd ever tune. I'd like have to tune them down and then back up, and that's part of the thing. It's like I'm tuning this back to the same place I just tuned it from. Like, what is going on here? Okay, so did I get? Let me tighten this a bit. We'll go. Oop. Tighter. Getting closer. Uh-oh, I heard a sound of a spring stretching. Alright, let's see. So we're on E. Drop that down to D and see if our E went a little sharp. So I'll take this a bit more. Bit more.
Yai 755 said, "Does that have a tab for drop D? That's sick."
It has this get this thing out of the way so I can see. It has this little thing right here. Push down and slide it in. It goes back up to E. Pull it out. Mm-hmm.
Yai 755 said, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah. It's an EVH D tuna. So what I'm trying to do right now is get it tension enough back there that I can play this note and bend this without this note dropping. Been that far. Let me go check everything here. Make sure that I'm not sabotaging myself. Oh, come on. Not sure why it's changed to. Not sure if this isn't. It's not moving it. Getting sympathetic vibration is confusing the tuner. Ah. I don't know. Okay, so now doesn't solve the angle problem. Not sure what will. Let me see, because as that moves forward, the plate tips and binds. And it scoots up. What is it hitting? Can't really tell what we're hitting against. Spring hitting against this. I think my spring is actually hitting against the screw. The spring is hitting the plate, I guess. Oh yeah, it's the springs hitting against the bottom of this plate. Huh?
Are you looking for Mum? A chair.
See, yeah, he came down here. I barely caught him as he went flying down.
Oh no.
Is he ready to go up? You want to go up there, Bundy? I can help. Bundy, ready to go up where Mommy is? Okay. I'll help you. Let's go over here. Wait. Okay. There you go. Good boy. There, she's over that way. This way. This way.
Sonny.
Well, now I know where the scraping is. Anyway, in software just to flip that over.
Yai 755 said, "One of my dogs is also watching the stream with me. LUL, his name is Billy Bob Bocephus."
Bocephus, huh? What am I doing?
Yai 755 said, "His short name is Bo. Somehow that name kinda just became his name."
That have anything to do with Bocephus mode, or is that a completely different Bocephus?
Yidi755 said, just random name I came up with a while back. LUL guitar sounds pretty good now.
check that again. I don't think I checked it with drop B. See, it's going sharp when I reduce tension. Which means I probably need to pick this. Yep. Need to increase the tension of the smaller springs a little bit. Let's see. He's fine. A little too far. Okay, kind of seems like probably need to change the tuning. I mean, probably need to adjust the detune a little. Oh, I need to do it the other way. I need to turn this till it's D. Then I need to engage it and adjust this until it goes to E. If I can get it in a little hole.
Nitka123 said, "Hi." Nitka123 said,
What's that?
"I have a question.
What is your question?
Nitka123 said, "So tonight my E-string just started doing a metal buzzing noise." Nitka123 said, "And it's not because the strings are rubbing on the fret or anything."
Did you do anything in particular before you had that happen? Have the strings loose or put on new strings?
Nitka123 said, "No, not really."
So, if you've got a string making a weird noise, you can try to isolate where it's happening by, like, say, if I go to the top fret, if the sound is gone, then you know it's from here up. So, if you've still got it clanging here, it has nothing to do with frets or neck bow or anything there. It can only really be bridge or something rattling. Does that make sense? If you have the guitar handy, you can try that and see what happens.
Nitka123 said, "Yeah." Nitka123
Okay.
said, "I'm testing it TN." Nitka123 said, "RN."
I need to having a thing where sometimes my amp starts being a bit weak or weaker than it usually is, less gainy. I think it's doing that right now.
Nitka123 said, "It starts at the 13th fret."
Well, you have a feeler gauge, like one of these that has different width pieces of metal.
Nitka123 said,
Well,
"No, sadly."
sometimes, you don't have the right tool for a job. Sometimes there's other tools for a job. So, trying to think of something else that would be about the right thickness. So it starts at the 13th. If you go 14, like going up, and see if you get the same sound. Wait, are you talking about starts at the 13th going that way, or it starts at the 13th when you're going that way? When you're going up, or when it goes down? Like, does 12, 11, 10 have the noise?
Netka 123 said, up. Netka 123 said, Tia. Netka 123 said, yet.
Now I'm not sure which. Okay. Noise starts here. Do you have it here? And here?
Netka 123 said, yes.
Do you have it when you're here? On the top fret?
Netka 123 said, no.
Check going up and see where it stops.
Netka 123 said, 16.
So it starts at 12 and it ends when you get to 16.
Netka 123 said, yep.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. But hold down the 12th fret there, and then look at this fret or whatever, and kind of go up and see if there's any spots where you can't feel, like if you push down here, it'll go freely and then it'll touch the fret. So you know there's a bit of a gap there. See if it's if there's any places where you push down, it doesn't go down because it's already against a fret or something. Sounds like maybe you've got a high fret somewhere in here. Might, if it's easier, I got an idea that might be easier. So, what I've got here is just a regular piece of notebook paper. If I hold down the 12th, I could slide it in between the string and the 13th, no problem. So I would go up each one and make sure that it slides freely in the fret above it, because if it won't, then you know you got a high fret there. You got a little piece of paper maybe?
Netka 123 said. Yeah.
You want to try that? Just use that as a really thin feeler gauge to make sure that there's at least some clearance. If it won't go under there when you're a fret below it, well, it can't go under the one I've got my finger on, then you've got a high fret. Probably, if it goes away when you're on the 16th, then it's probably one of those frets.
Netka 123 said. They all seem okay.
Maybe it's just a little bit high. And, so maybe if I fold that over twice. Okay, so you might try taking your notebook paper, like fold it over once nicely, and then fold it one more time. So you've got, it's the thickness of 4 pieces of paper now. And at least on my guitar, if I have my finger on like the 12th fret, it drags a little bit there on the 13th, on the one just above it. If yours doesn't drag, you can give it another fold. That's way too much for mine. Which it drags a little bit, but it doesn't lift the string. It's not that tight. So if you got anything from that.
Netka 123 said. Mine lifts the string for the 13 and 14.
Okay. Do you happen to have a hammer? And maybe a little piece of wood?
Netka 123 said. Yet I have that somewhere.
So then what you would do is move the string out of the way. Is your A string okay? You don't have any buzzing in that same area on the A string?
Netka 123 said. Nope, just the E.
Have you had some big temperature changes or rain or humidity lately? Or has it gotten really dry? either direction. So those are the conditions that generally mess with things like frets and your neck angle. I mean, neck relief. This might be kind of hard without multiple hands. Do you have a tremolo on your
Netka
guitar?
123 said. I mean, it's been quite hot. Netka 123 said, yeah.
Okay, so if you push your tremolo into a dive and stick something under there, that'll loosen up your strings so they're easier to move around. Because you definitely don't want to hit against a string or it'll put a big dent in your fret. So to get it over the fret you want, probably need to figure out some way to do this that the string moves over. There we go. You may even want to loosen the E string and stuff because you really don't want to risk hitting that. Because if that pops under and you whack it, you're done. But then you'd get it over the spot you want to do and just give it a good whack and test it. Do it on both those two frets. It can't really go, don't get a sledgehammer and kill it, but it should stop when it gets to the face of the fretboard. You might even take your fingernail and see if you can feel like a gap under it now or something. But anyway, give those two a whack. Again, be very careful of not letting a string get under there before you do a whack, because you'll end up with a dent that your strings are going to go over for the rest of the life of the frets. You want to give that a try now, or?
Netka 123
Okay.
said, yeah, I'm trying.
You don't need to get as far over as where the A string is if the A string isn't having a problem.
Netka 123 said, didn't seem to work.
You did it on both 13th, 14th.
Netka 123 said, yeah.
Well, your noise is usually in between wherever you're at and wherever, and the bridge. Because if you play here, you won't hear anything caused by that vibration. So I would try, just give each of these frets a bit of a tap. It might just be getting to a point where it can touch one of the others a little bit. Let me know how that goes.
Netka 123 said, MMMH weird.
What happened?
Netka 123 said, I mean, the noise is still there, but now it sounds like there's a loose screw somewhere.
What kind of bridge do you have? Is it like a Fender style bridge with the two little studs there?
Netco 123 said, yeah.
Get out my tackle box.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello,
Sound
somebody.
alerts said,
Oh, thanks for the follow.
Netco 123 followed your channel.
A second here. All right. So, I'm going to turn this upside down because that way the directions will be right for me. It's going to make me look upside down. Okay. So, what may have happened is one of your little studs here may have like vibrated enough to be loose against the bridge. So give it a look, see if these pieces should all be level, like from side to side. So see if it's tipped and see if one of these is either higher or lower than the other. You gotta be able to maybe see the little bumps in there. Because I've seen a lot of times like this can't go down very well because it's against this one, and then this one in the middle can like vibrate out. Yeah, give that a look and see if anything. If you had 3 hands, you could hold the string. If you have a capo, maybe.
Netco 123 said, yeah, the right side of the E1 is a bit higher.
Do you have a proper sized Allen wrench for it?
Netco 123 said,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'd put that in there and start screwing down until you feel it start to raise that side, or watch it and see it start to raise that side, and then back it back off till it's level. Might want to check all of them and make sure none are scooting out. Because generally these are the same length, so if one looks lower than the other, then probably one is not touching, or else it's tilted. I didn't know until tonight that the right size Allen wrench for those is the same size as the thing for Justin the D tuna. Well, so I learned a bit about this anyway.
Netco 123 said, seemed like it fixed it.
All right, awesome. High fives all around. Oh, excuse me.
Netco 123 said, thanks a lot, you're a lifesaver.
I'm always happy to help. If you have any other problems, just let me know. That's probably going to be the end of this stream, because I want to switch over to installing a new pickup. It means I got to rename things and stuff like that. So I'll probably be gone for 5 or 10 minutes and then start a new stream. Got any other guitar mysteries? So we like to make things work.
Netco 123 said, "Nah, I got it all
Awesome.
figured out."
Okay, I don't need that. Do a little bit of cleanup here.
Netco 123 said, "It was really weird cause it started randomly while I was practicing."
Yeah, usually when frets pop up or something, it's not like right as you're doing it, it says the guitar's setting. So this makes more sense. It just, the vibration of the string make it back out. And but yeah, I'm glad we found it. Let's see. Get rid of my shim. I'm not organized by nature, so it's good for me to put things away when I'm done using them. Like, make sure I do that. That makes it a hell of a lot easier to start the next project. There. This goes here. All right. Well, it's time to play my outro. All right, rock and roll picked us. So I'll be back here in a bit and see if we can install a Frankenstein pickup. See if it sounds as good as I hope.
Netco 123 said,
Alrighty.
ALR.
Take care and have fun. See you later, alligators.